Hello and welcome to Xbox Classics. In this installment, the game is Blackstone, Magic and Steel, released in 2002, developed by an obscure company called X-Spec Entertainment, which was a small company working for the parent company, IT Factory. This game is part of the Japanese series that's known as the as Generation of Chaos. In Japan, this game was released as the title X-Chaser, and it became Blackstone in North America as its own separate thing, as none of the other Generation of Chaos games was released up into a PSP game a few years ago. Now, this game is a somewhat rare game to find on the Xbox. It's not a game I've seen very often, so when I found a copy of it, I was, I had to pick it up even though the game was more than what I would like to pay for a game of this nature. As it's a very early Xbox game, it's got a Japanese development behind it, so that's how you know it's early. And also, it's very, kind of unpolished as opposed to later Xbox games would be. It's not a bad game by any stretch. It supports 480p, and it also supports widescreen, which is very unusual for early Xbox games. So, this is basically a Gauntlet clone. Here, I'll tell the story.
The once promised land has reclaimed its lost glory after the defeat of Xylon. The Dark Powers are forced back into the shadows after their defeat. 1,000 years after the defeat of Zaydan, the Dark Mages hiding within the Tower of Babylon have grown very powerful. They awakened the ancient volcano Moon Eye, which weakened the powers of holy light that is protecting the land of Zaydan. Without the protection of the holy light, the Dark Mages were able to steal the souls of the people of Zaydan and turn them all into slaves. The Dark One, Xylon, possesses many pieces of the Black Stone and now has enough power to fulfill his destiny. The story begins on this evil night.
So yeah, let's start a new game here. You notice that it's divided up into 4 squadrons here, so that means that this is a 4-player local multiplayer game. Exactly the same as like what you'd expect from an old Gauntlet machine. You can choose your class of character between like a warrior, an archer, and a warlock. Warlocks are basically like your magicians. And there's pirates and thieves, and it goes on and on. There's so many characters here, and there's also multiple versions of the same characters where you can choose different avatars and different groups of characters to choose what your character would look like. I'm gonna go with the Ginger Archer because I like redheads. You can give them a name. I think she looks like a Zelda, so I'm gonna give her the name Zelda. And also, there's the 6-character limit, so it fits nicely. Not because I'm a huge fan of The Legend of Zelda, just because I think Zelda is a name that fits this character's portrait here. So I'm going to boot up the game, and you'll quickly see that a lot of the things in this game are very, very, early on in the Xbox's life. You can tell this was a game that was basically in development when the system was in development.
The Dark Mages have entered the Temple of Earth. The Light Mages are now summoning for the legendary avatars in order to defend the land of Zaydan.
But yeah, this game, for its age, looks pretty good for, very early Xbox game. And that's mostly because it runs in 480p. So like I was saying before, the game plays like a Gauntlet clone. And that means that you, hack and slash your way, and you attack enemies' spawning points. Collect gold. Break up barrels and stuff. Now you notice the bar on the bottom of the screen. That's really there because this is intended to be played multiplayer, although you can play it single player as I'm doing here. The controls are rather simple. You press the A button to do a standard attack, and you press the X button to do a ranged attack. You can also do party attacks and magic attacks, and do special dodges, and do super powerful attacks. Now I'm playing as an archer, so she specializes, of course, in ranged attacks, with her melee attacks being less powerful whip as opposed to like some characters who would use like a sword or something. There are also items that allow you to pick up new abilities, such as this multi-shot here, which allows me to shoot 3 times in a row. But these shots are only available for a limited period of time before they disappear. As well, with the gold that the enemies drop also is finite and only appears for a limited period of time. Most of the background music in this game is fairly short loops of the same tracks, so this is not exactly a game that is high in the audio department. And, when I play this, I can't help but feel like I'm playing an arcade game that just happens to be on Xbox, as opposed to a game that was developed solely for the Xbox. The box itself, probably proclaims only on Xbox. There's no PS2 version of this or something, And I guess that's a statement, but this game, again, plays like an arcade game and not like a standard Xbox game. So, although I did pay, over $20 for this game, which is, a lot, at least I didn't pay like $60 or something. If I had, I wouldn't think this game would be worth nearly that much. I think the only reason I paid as much as I did is because it's not a common game. I picked up the bomb, which allows me to throw bombs at enemies instead of my my archers, or my arrows, I mean. The game does have some unique things about it, such as, all this loot that I'm picking up actually serves a purpose in the game, in that after every stage there's a shop that you can visit, where you can buy power-ups and buy upgrades, and it makes it kind of more like an action RPG than just like a straight-up action game. I have to say that I like it more than a lot of Gauntlet games because your health isn't constantly depleting just by the fact that you exist, like it does in Gauntlet. But it sure has much of the same sort of repetitious design. But check that out. That's a pretty cool power-up, right? keys are required to get into every chest. And like I said before, the music is nothing special in this game. It just loops, and it's very, very forgettable, just background music. The game also is a bit limited in that it doesn't use the right analog stick or the D-pad at all. You just move with the left stick, and you have like a fixed camera angle. Again, I can't fault the game too much because it was an early title. And on the Xbox, a system that, you know, is very lacking in RPGs, even an action RPG like this is an appreciated game. And I have to give them credit where credit's due. The fact that it runs in 480p and is widescreen for a 2002 game, that, well, very early 2002. This game would have been, you know, released in Japan in, well, early 2002, but you know, it would have been, this would have been at E3 2001, you know. For a game from that era, you know, when HD gaming was basically non-existent thing, especially for a Japanese-developed game, because, you know, in Japan, they were very slow to adopt to HD. And that's why you saw so many SD games for, like, the PS2 and stuff. Die! There. That thing wanted to suck my energy away. Now the fire elemental is cool. It acts basically like the options in Gradius, or the multiples as they're sometimes called. Just follows you around and attacks for you. It's basically indestructible. So let's see, did I kill everybody? If you get lost, you can check a map. To do that, you simply press the white button, I think. Yeah, that's what it is. Of course, my whip doesn't do much damage. I gotta use my bow. I'm not sure if I mentioned it already, but the aiming in this game is done sort of through an auto-aiming system, where you just roughly point yourself in whatever direction that the enemy is in, and you'll automatically fire directly at them. You don't have to worry about missing or something. And I guess that works because the game is, like I said, strictly just uses the left analog stick, and you don't have any right stick control. This is not a dual twin stick shooter.
Once the self-destruction had been started, the Light Mages teleported the avatars and themselves into the Temple of Protection. You must find the remaining elements of the Black Stone to gain enough power to defeat Xylon.
Yeah, I'll get right on that. So with the first stage completed, you can just see, like, I just was fighting just standard enemies and enemy generators for that stage. You get a whole bunch of loot, which then you can spend at this guy. So he'll give you various things, like you can buy, you know, cake and meat and keys. These are basically like health items and keys open up chests. Also, you can buy scrolls, which will give you like your super attacks. You can upgrade your standard weapon to be an elemental sword, and you can also summon a other type of elemental spirit. So yeah, that's basically Blackstone in a nutshell. After this, the game just repeats and you keep going to different locales, and some of them are, you know, outdoors, some of them are dungeons, some of them are, you know, all the typical things that you'd expect from a fantasy game like this. You can save your game. Again, this game uses the option of hard disk or a memory unit, which would be the like those 8 megabyte memory cards for the Xbox. And you know, think of what was even the point of that when you had, you know, the 10 gig hard drive that was installed in every Xbox? Well, again, this was very early in the Xbox's life, so they weren't sure that, you know, people wanted to, you know, I guess, take their memory card to a friend's house and, hey, let's play this multiplayer game together, and that was their big thinking. But you know, most people are just going to probably save to the hard disk, which is the hard drive. So yeah, again, this is Blackstone for the original Xbox. If you have any questions about this game, feel free to drop them in the comment section down below, and also be sure to hit that like button, because hitting that like button tells me that you guys like to see Xbox classics and you want to see more videos like this. So anyway, thanks for watching, guys, and I'll see you guys next time.
Select your mission. You must find the crystal amulet of fire to enter the Tower of Thrones. This amulet is hidden within the well of Thrones.
Yes, that is very well hidden. Anyway, see you guys next time.